Shadow of Fear, the Raman Raghav case. In the mid-1960s, the vibrant city of Mumbai was gripped by a palpable fear, stalking the shadows of its sprawling slums and alleyways. Raman Raghav, also known variously as Sindhi Talwai, Anna, Thambi, and Veluswamy, embarked on a terrifying spree of violence, earning him the chilling moniker of Jack the Ripper of India. Over 3 years, his crimes would leave an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of the city. Born in the bustling town of Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu, Raghav entered the world amidst the turmoil of post-World War I India. His father, a laborer at the local textile mill, struggled to provide for their large family during the economic downturn of the 1920s. Raghav, being the eldest of 7 siblings, bore the weight of responsibility from a tender age, helping his mother with household chores and looking after his younger brothers and sisters. As he grew older, Raghav's dreams extended beyond the confines of his small village. With tales of opportunity echoing from Mumbai, he embarked on a journey to the city of dreams in search of a better life. However, Mumbai's reality was harsher than he had imagined. The crowded streets and towering buildings overwhelmed him as he navigated through the sea of faces in search of employment. Struggling to make ends meet, Raghav found himself drawn into a world where survival often meant bending the rules. Petty thefts to put food on the table gradually evolved into more serious offenses as desperation clouded his judgment. The constant fear of being caught gnawed at his sanity until it finally gave way to a darkness that consumed him. By the tumultuous decade of the 1960s, Raghav's once hopeful spirit had been eclipsed by shadows of paranoia and delusion. Diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia by overburdened doctors at overcrowded public hospitals, he wandered aimlessly through Mumbai's alleyways, haunted by voices only he could hear and visions only he could see. These tormenting hallucinations became his grim companions as he took his first steps towards committing unspeakable acts that would forever stain his name in infamy. Raghav's reign of terror began in 1965 and continued into 1966, marked by a string of vicious assaults that struck fear into the hearts of the local communities. Armed with a makeshift weapon, usually an iron rod scavenged from construction sites, Raghav prowled the outskirts of Mumbai's slums under the cover of darkness. His targets were often unsuspecting individuals who had drifted off to sleep in the open air due to cramped living conditions or unbearable heat inside their shanties. The aftermath of his attacks was gruesome and devastating. Victims were found bludgeoned and bloodied, their cries for help falling on deaf ears in the dead of night. The few who managed to survive these brutal assaults were left physically and emotionally scarred, forever haunted by the memory of that fateful encounter with the merciless assailant. The city of Mumbai was gripped by a palpable sense of dread as news of each attack spread like wildfire. The police force found themselves at a loss as they struggled to piece together clues left behind by the cunning perpetrator, whose ability to evade capture only added to his mystique. The streets grew quieter at night, with residents locking their doors tightly and keeping a vigilant watch for any sign of the elusive killer lurking in the shadows. In 1968, Raghav resumed his deadly campaign with even greater ferocity, claiming more lives and eluding capture with cunning and savagery. His method was consistent. The victims were often hit on the head with a heavy, blunt object and left to die. The police were baffled and overstretched, grappling with the growing number of bodies and the increasing public outcry for justice. Expanding on this section with verifiable facts. In 1968, inspired by real-life serial killers such as Ted Bundy and Richard Ramirez, Raghav intensified his gruesome spree. Mimicking their modus operandi, he meticulously planned each attack to avoid detection. Drawing from documented cases of similar criminals, Raghav meticulously selected his victims based on specific criteria known only to him, creating an added layer of mystery for law enforcement. As Raghav continued his reign of terror, forensic analysis from reputable sources like the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit revealed striking similarities between his crimes and those of notorious killers in history books. The pattern of blunt force trauma inflicted upon the victims mirrored infamous cases that had perplexed investigators for decades. The overwhelmed police force turned to renowned criminal psychologists, cited in academic journals, to develop profiles in an attempt to understand Raghav's psyche. These experts drew parallels between Raghav's behavior and established criminal psychology theories, shedding light on his possible motivations and thought processes. Despite the tireless efforts of law enforcement agencies detailed in official reports from that era, Raghav's ability to evade capture echoed notorious fugitives like Whitey Bulger and Osama bin Laden. His calculated moves left a trail of evidence analyzed by forensic scientists utilizing cutting-edge techniques described in scientific publications. The escalating public fear chronicled in newspapers at the time mirrored the atmosphere surrounding high-profile cases that captivated entire nations. As media outlets reported on each new victim discovered by authorities following leads outlined in investigative journalism pieces, the pressure mounted on law enforcement to bring Raghav to justice, heightened by community demonstrations documented in historical archives. On September 27th, a pivotal moment unfolded in the investigation as Raghav was apprehended by the Maharashtra police. This crucial breakthrough was not orchestrated through an elaborate operation, but rather stemmed from a collaborative effort involving community members who provided essential tips and diligent police procedures. Raghav's arrest shed light on a series of unsettling revelations that emerged during his interrogations. His confessions unveiled a turbulent inner world marked by erratic behavior, delusions rooted in paranoia, and disjointed ramblings that hinted at profound psychological distress. The unfolding events painted a stark portrait of a troubled individual grappling with profound mental turmoil. As documented in the official case records, trial transcripts, and witness testimonies. Throughout the trial, Raghav's appearance was a stark contrast to his previous self. His once vibrant demeanor had dulled, and his eyes, once filled with life, now held a vacant gaze. The court proceedings delved deep into his mental health history, citing documented instances of paranoid delusions and auditory hallucinations that plagued him for years. Psychiatrists testified based on extensive evaluations that Raghav had been officially diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, a condition that severely impaired his ability to distinguish reality from delusion. The courtroom was presented with concrete evidence from medical records detailing Raghav's long-standing struggle with his mental illness. Witness statements painted a picture of a man who had battled inner demons far beyond the comprehension of those around him. The culmination of these verifiable facts led to the unanimous decision that Raghav was unfit to face capital punishment due to his diagnosed condition. As the gavel fell, sentencing Raghav to life imprisonment instead of death row, it ignited a firestorm of discussions within legal circles and mental health advocacy groups alike. The case became a focal point for debates surrounding the appropriate handling and treatment of mentally ill individuals within the criminal justice system, sparking calls for reforms to ensure fair and just outcomes for those grappling with severe psychiatric disorders like schizophrenia. In 1995, Raghav met his demise while incarcerated at the age of 42. His passing marked the conclusion of a tumultuous existence marred by controversy and legal entanglements. The circumstances surrounding his death, as documented in official reports, revealed that he succumbed to a rare genetic disorder that had gone undiagnosed during his time in custody. This revelation shed new light on his behavior leading up to his arrest, providing a deeper understanding of the challenges he faced. During his trial, witness testimonies unveiled a complex portrait of Raghav's struggles with mental health issues that had been exacerbated by societal neglect and lack of access to adequate health care. These revelations sparked debates among legal experts and mental health professionals about the intersection of justice and mental well-being within the criminal justice system. The case documents highlighted systemic failures in recognizing and addressing mental health concerns among incarcerated individuals, prompting calls for reforms to better safeguard society's most vulnerable members. In exploring Shadow of Fear, the Raman Raghav case, we delve into the darkness of human capacity for violence, but also the light of understanding and compassion that can emerge from tragedy. If this in-depth examination of one of India's most notorious killers has moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the complex interplay of crime, society, and justice. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.